Welcome back, everybody, to a interesting Last Day on Earth challenge. This idea was suggested: clear Bunker Alpha, but you're only allowed to use the materials that you get at Bunker Alpha. And I find that to be an absolutely fascinating idea. It's almost how a survival game was meant to be played. Weird. Almost like you're not supposed to show up with 30 grenade launchers and 30 scars and absolutely blow the place. Use your resources there and survive. So I thought this would be a fascinating challenge, how LDOE was meant to be played. Now, how LDOE was meant to be played has a couple of different caveats, as we'll get into in a second. As always, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, join my Discord, follow my Twitter. You all know the drill by now. Let's get into it. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to end up editing this, probably highlight style, so you're only going to see like the rough highlights, because for some reason I did this audio live. The audio disappeared. You gotta love it when your editing software does that. I do roughly want to talk about the gameplay. I have it playing right near me while I refix this voiceover. You're obviously going to hear a couple of long-winded rants that go into some extended detail about update teasers and updates in general, but in large part I do want to also focus on the gameplay. So what you're watching in the gameplay right now is me trying to make my way to the gunsmith bench, because the gunsmith bench ultimately is the goal. If I get to the gunsmith bench, I can start modifying these weapons and probably make it to the end. I honestly don't think if I didn't have the gunsmith bench that I would be able to complete all 3 floors of Bunker Alpha, because honestly guns burn really fast. So it sucks that they put it at the absolute end. I decided to tweak that ever so slightly. You have to kill all of the frenzied giants. So all of the giants in the back rooms, all of the giants in whatever room, and hopefully get red tickets, because this challenge cost me like 30 red tickets in storage. So I want to get refunded. So that's what I'm doing. As you're watching, I'm going for frenzied giants. At least floor 2 at the very end, there's a lot of them. The major caveat here is wall trick. How Last Day on Earth was meant to be played, obviously credits to B-Rad there, but how Last Day on Earth was meant to be played does not include the wall trick. Now, I know that's how the community sees LDOE as meant to be played, but the developers never intended for wall trick to be a thing. At least I don't think it would be planned. I mean, why would you have your pathing AI like intentionally have your zombie hit the wall or something like that? It doesn't make sense for that to be technically planned. So yes, I do have melee weapons, but no, I don't think that the wall trick is fair to use in this challenge, because technically the wall trick was never intended to be part of the game. Now granted, if they did try and remove it, there would be actual, server blowups and everything, and campaigns to get it restored and stuff like that. So yes, it is integral as part of the game, but the title of the video is how Last Day on Earth was meant to be played. So, that doesn't technically fall under that umbrella. Yeah. So I'm on floor 3 now, and honestly, yeah, the giants are largely spread out. You have that back cavern area. It's funny, I've done Bunker Alpha for so long, for so many times, that I know the whole thing, even though I haven't done it in, a good year and a half, maybe even going on 2 years at this point. I haven't done Bunker Alpha. I haven't been underground in Bunker Alpha for so long, yet I know exactly what all the chests are, I know exactly where all the enemies are, I know exactly what loot you're gonna get where. It's so weird, almost nostalgic coming back down here. The other thing I did want to mention, or at least talk about while this video is going in the background, because this is a long gameplay clip, and I have no idea how long this video is actually going to end up being, is Last Day on Earth updates. Yep, I know, that's where my retention drops and everybody leaves. But hear me out. We know now that there's no longer going to be a mid-season update, which, honestly, that's a good thing. No mid-season updates means a closer season and hopefully permanent content. That said, let's look at the entirety of the month of January. January has had a whopping 0 updates. Now I know that's major gasp for some games who go months without updates, but LDOE has always been a game where there's been an update every single month. 2 weeks even, and that's where all the hype's at. Now, I know moving to a longer update schedule means hopefully a better update in the end, and I'm very, very hopeful that after these like last 2 seasons, which have largely been repeat mechanics of what we've seen before, that something fantastic and giant is coming. I also like to set myself up for realistic expectations, so that's why I'm not going to scream helicopter from the rooftops. All we've seen so far is a skin teaser, and then the other teaser, which happened to come out yesterday, is sort of like, almost like a treadmill. We know how important it is to keep in shape, which is especially relevant for survivors more than anybody else. In view of that, a device like this will always come in useful, at least use it as directed. They say some game designer once set up his place, got thinking about new mechanics, and ended up running a London marathon. Be well. Now, that last part really gets me excited, but then I also have to remember there's talking about 2 different contexts here. So let me break that down a little bit. Let's start with that second part, right? They say some game designer once got set up at his place, got thinking about new mechanics, and ended up running the London marathon. Be well. Now, I can't help but notice they didn't talk about how those mechanics were added to Last Day on Earth. So, before anyone says it, before I see clickbait about it, I genuinely don't think that it's going to be OMG treadmill incoming with energy revamped, where you can run on the treadmill and it'll lose energy and then you'll get new skills and all of that. I don't think that's being set up. Yes, they do talk about new mechanics, but there's no mention of how those mechanics tie into the Last Day on Earth world. They talk about, we know how important it is to keep in shape, which is relevant for survivors more than anybody else. And then they list the treadmill. So the treadmill, if you think about it though, where does the treadmill work in terms of a Last Day on Earth related thing? Treadmills strike me as something like the weight rack, or something like those other base decorations is what I'm getting at. No, I know everybody's long been waiting for decorations to, do something at your base. Floor 4, okay. So I saved grenades on purpose for floor 4, and as you can see, that's paying off. Oh, you know what I should have done? Now that I think about it, I should have brought the True Friend, because if you look in all of Last Day on Earth's kinds of promotional material, now I know, promotional material, LDUE, and the weird ads and all that, which they've largely disappeared. How weird. But LDUE and the weird ads always have a dog. And since we're talking about how Last Day on Earth was meant to be played, with the context of the advertisements, yeah, we could use those. So, part of me wishes I did bring that True Friend, because that would be pretty useful. Now, what's going to be annoying in here is turrets. I think I can destroy them or run past them, right? No, I have to run past them. I'm going to run out of guns, which I think is fair to say, right? Last Day on Earth, did they ever intend for the turret to be destroyed? Or did they ever intend for the turret to be something you run past? I know the turrets at your base were a weird way to go, but oh wow, who remembers turrets at your base? That was weird. I don't know why my mind just went to that, but wow, who remembers turrets at your base? It's like Fort Moss level stuff, but like actual Fort Moss, not that season 17 bootleg. And then I forgot about floor 4. They had cold rooms. Weird. Feels weird going back to the cold rooms. Now I still remember the strategies. Don't stay in there too long. Obviously lure the zombies out. Frozen zombies drop red tickets, so they're worth it at the very least. I'm not just burning guns for whatever. And then those heavy turrets. So we got rid of both of those turrets too. I kind of have to, because you can't really run past them. Now, if I remember right, there's a Frenzy Giant in that room with the heavy turret all the way down there. I'm going to have to do this all. Yeah, that's right, because there's a Frenzy Giant with a couple of fast biters at the very ends. Well then, okay, we're going to have to deal with the meat sacks. I remember these. Oh, good times, good times. I remember when they first came out and everyone was panicking about how you dodged them. People just said, like, oh, just run straight through them. I remember that. Such good times. I'm getting nostalgic for old LDUE. I mean, I knew this video was going to be a throwback, or a weird kind of throwback, but wow. Well, I watched this character finish up and get that ending loot and kill that last Frenzy Giant really quick with the challenges that I did want to talk about. I absolutely see all of your comments about 99 waves, or do something with a spear, or something like that, which, don't get me wrong, are really good and really difficult challenges. But there's one other factor that I've talked about in videos at times before. It would be a weird video. 99 waves, yes, it's an entertaining video, but I genuinely have no idea how to edit 99 waves. Like, do I do it montage style? Do I do just voiceover in the moment? I feel like that would get really stale. Like, I could see you doing it as stream highlights, but I have no idea how else you would edit 99 waves. I don't know. Anywho, leave your challenges in the comments below. I enjoyed this throwback, and yeah, I guess we're eagerly waiting for the next season. Very eagerly waiting for the next season. Anywho, subscribe, ZD out.